record. Okie dokie. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are on, goodness, you're not up. He's up. We are on Polar Night for game number 2 of this best of 3 in the round of 16 for the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo, Brazil qualifier, the Asian qualifier. And spawning in the north position as the red Zerg player who's down 0-1 in this best of 3 from team, apparently it's Long Chen. It is ezrc, who got baited by the 2-base cannon rush and then subsequently lost with a Speedling Baneling all in. And he's up against this guy who's had an amazing year. Deer's actually been playing really well this year. He's a cool guy. I met him at the WCS Season 3 Finals. Oh yeah, by the way, I guess I should say his name. It's Mouse Sports' Deer. But Deer's a pretty cool guy. As I was talking to him at the after party of the WCS Season 3 Finals, after he basically dumped on every single player that was there, the trophy was really cool. And he's just like, yeah, he was chilling, pretty much. Can't really remember much of what we were talking about. But yeah, he's a cool guy. That's all I got. Man, that's probably the worst self-banter ever had, but for it looks like a 15 pool from ezrc, and it does look like he wants to be able to cannon rush, but he's not taking any ezrc's not taking any chances. So I think he might build the forge first, and just so he can pylon block. You should almost never pylon block if you go Nexus first. So he builds the forge not because he's scared, but he builds the forge because he wants to block this base. And oh, that probe, nope. No. Okay, thank God. I was gonna be like, no. Cannot lose your first probe. Nexus is on the way, so it's not that far behind the hatchery anyway. No big deal. The rest of the wall is going on up. 4 Zerglings on the production tab. I'd still like to see the gateway before the cannon, but it's okay. It's like a preference thing. As a Protoss, you're always like, what are the odds that he just makes 6-8 Zerglings? It's only 4 Lings made. He immediately checks for cannons because, you know, the way that the last game panned out. Weird things happened. So, let's see what else is going on here. Anything interesting? Can I try to enlighten the audience to the beauty of StarCraft? Not really. This Zergling's just looking for more proxy pylons. He's scared. He's scared of the way that Deer played in the last game because he just built Colossus and pretty much A-moved his Ling Infestor army. There's a reason that Ling Infestor isn't used much more after Wings of Liberty, because it's pretty bad. Infestors just don't do a lot of damage anymore. They ain't as good as they used to be, to say the least. If you're tuning in, you're like, Nathan, I don't speak English, or I didn't watch any Wings of Liberty pro games, then let's just say Zerg players literally only built Infestors until they got a Hive, which was at like 10 minutes. So they went for like some Infestors and then they went into Broodlords. But Infestors are just not good. This Zergling has actually checked the entire area. I'm impressed. You know, this is how I feel sometimes some Terran players with their Reapers. It's like you could scout a Nexus first from a Protoss with your Reaper expand, and instead of trying to kill probes, you'd rather check around the map because you'd know that they would still go proxy Oracle. It's just really funny. This probe is on the east side of the map, so there's that potential for an attack. Third hatchery's about to finish. And this Zealot's chasing this Zergling down. That's pretty cool. Warp Gate's being chrono boosted. I don't know that he's going to go for a timing with this. He'd need to start a couple gateways in a few seconds, but I guess he only has 2 gas geysers. He could add on a lot of gates. 1, 2, yeah. Aw, yeah, here we go. Just 3 is not a lot, though. You can support 4 gateway production pretty healthily off of a 2-base setup. You can still like chrono boost the warp gate itself to get faster reinforcements, but it's not enough for that fully committed all-in. And this is why I mentioned this. There's suddenly a lot of Zerglings in the production tab. ezrc doesn't have a saturated third base. He's about 6 or so, 5-6 drones away. Obviously nowhere near saturated on his third. So this is just really cool because the 4 gateways allows him to put on just enough pressure that he starts to worry about it. And he actually has not built He doesn't have Zergling speed. Like, this is something that's going to really scare him and make him think there's a huge all-in coming. Like, if you're EZRC, you're looking at this and you're like, oh my god, he's going to try to kill me. But I think he's catching on. He's like, my overlords didn't really see that many gateways, and I see you building a Stargate, so maybe it's not a super huge all-in. And because of that, he's going to go back into drone production. It was a cool mind game by Deer, but EZRC did not fall for his schemes. No. He's going to play it safe. He's getting his lair together, but he also puts on the 3 Spore Crawlers because of this Stargate. So it's in fast Oracle with a Twilight Council, which means we could see a very fast +2 attack or +2 armor. I feel like, generally speaking, you want attack upgrades. Just kill the Zerg faster and faster. But these Zealots have +1, which makes them really good versus these Zerglings. He mostly wants to keep the Stalkers alive. The Zergling speed finishes very, very late this game, but somehow still manages to catch that Stalker. And the Zealots just clean up all these Zerglings. That's really, really nice. So now Deer wants to get a third. I will say this. On this map, it's going to be pretty damn hard to hold a third base. There's a huge angle that you can attack from. And that makes life hard. This Oracle walks in, sees the Queen of the Sports, like, okay, back off. Roach speed is now underway. Void Ray, the defensive Void Ray. I love the defensive Void Ray. It's such a powerful unit. It can kill your opponent en masse or, with very low numbers, defend yourself. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Probe pulls back. These Zerglings and Roaches want to get all up in that, but 4 Zealot warp in will be enough to let this probe... Wow! He actually managed to... Wow, damn. I just want to give a shout out to this probe for not dying. But the warp-ins will clean up all of this. Very, very nice control from Deer to not lose that probe. I don't care about anything else. I thought this probe was so dead. I was about to make a joke about him trying to save it and it not being able to get away. But good for him. Good for him, really. There's still no 4th base started for the Zerg player. The 3rd's actually not even that saturated. This is really going to hurt him later on. You can see that he's banking infinite gas. And he doesn't really have any unit balance. He doesn't have any unit composition that he can spend gas quickly. Hydralisks, Roaches, and Zerglings all obviously cost more minerals than gas. So this is actually kind of weird. I feel like he maybe is focused a bit. The Oracle is here. Going to try to help clean these Lings up. And this Oracle actually did do a lot of damage to the Zerglings. 8 Ling kills. Pretty nice. 3rd Nexus looks uninhibited. And look at this. Double Void Ray. The Hydras are on the production tab, so he needs to be careful. But he can get something. I feel like, you know, maybe a drone or two could pick off the Extractor without any difficulty. But he's going to play it more safe. Pulls back. So let's see what happens. Robo Facility. This looks like the same transition that we saw in the last game. The only difference being that there's more Hydralisks and less Infestors this time around. But maybe Infestors wouldn't be a bad choice, considering that he's almost about to hit 1,000 gas. I think if he builds a Spire, tries to trade heavily with his supply, and then switches into Mutalisks, maybe, like trade a lot of Roach Hydra, and then move into Mutas. I think you normally only want to do that when you're maxed out on Roach Hydra, but, well, I mean, just looking at the state of things. Oh, wow, he has the Revelation, so he can see that these Hydralisks are alone. They have no date. There's no chauffeur, and they get picked up in the middle of this polar night. 4 Hydralisks. There'll be an ad in the paper about them tomorrow. Rip in peace. Overlord gets killed. And there's some more Hydras. You see they're all clustered together. They're moving a little bit faster. They all went to the same shoe sale. But there's the force fields. Oh, man. Not even a fake ID will get them through this wall. These drones are left bare and alone. The Hatchery will die, which is kind of like killing his own force field. But then he recalls. He's like, sup? Zergling run by is like, no, man, I got photon cannons. No worries. So, Deer has been playing a much better game this time around than the last map. EZRC just seems to be slightly behind, well, the entire time. And I have a policy. If it's past like the 15-minute mark and the Protoss is even or ahead in supply versus a Zerg, the Protoss is in a very good spot. And that's the caster BS way of saying Protoss is probably going to win. So let's see, because we're about 1 minute away, and I feel like EZRC killing a few Zealots is not quite the big momentum shifter he needs. This Warp Prism, though, could put a lot of pain in. There's no units in the main base, just this one queen. And obviously, you can just warp units in. Wow, that was the fastest kill on... Okay, it was canceled by that. But here, the Hydras are engaging the main force. Does get the Mothership Core. Getting with a bit of a flank. These sentries being left alone is a really big deal. This is exactly what he needs. He's got about 30 seconds to deal. I don't know why I'm even talking about the timer anymore. He's pushing up the ramp. This is really nice. It's not that hard to trade versus the Stalkers, but the Blink Micro is helping out a lot. The big problem is there's still a ton of Zealots inside the main base of EZRC. This Colossus getting sniped. Another great pickup. Most of these Hydralisks are still going to die, though, and this is still a large number of resources considering that there's no longer any main base mining happening. That means there's also no injecting because this hatchery lost its queen. And EZRC is doing everything humanly possible, but there's still a very powerful force moving across the map, and there's so many roaches being produced. It's a bit more easy to micro. Hero Warp Prism wants to just force field the ramp. Oh, he's so close to having enough energy too as well. He's going to lock him out of the main base while he pressures the third. This is so smart. He's like, I've got sentries, so I force field this ramp, and I use my main army to make you come and attack me. He will pick off that pylon, but I don't think he can save his lair at this point. The +3 attack is just, it's too strong. It's just too strong. So these Zealots are doing everything they can. I think charge would be really nice right now, but oh well. Sentries are fine. Sentries are getting picked up. This is actually kind of nice for EZRC, but his lair's dead. Thankfully for him, all his tech was in the natural, but he's going to try to make a push on this third base. Can he pick this off? There's a Colossus here. There's the Mothership Core as well. No Photon Overcharge energy is available. Trying to get the rest of these roaches. Oh, can he get a force field or two? That'd be so nice to just lock this in. Well, that's not going to happen. This Overlord will also die. Goodbye. Warp Prism stands strong in the main base, despite there being nothing else there. Keep in mind, the biggest problem is that with no lair, that means no infestation pit and no hive. So these Colossi are untouchable. He can't get Vipers. He tries to attack, but these Colossi are just, they're going to town. Going to town. Especially with the extended thermal lance. And the Stalkers, Zealots, Sentries, blowing everything apart. The Queens transfuse each other, but no dice. It looks like Deer is going to blaze his way on to a 2-0 victory. Well played, Deer.